Alright, this is how we take a guide off the printer. This is something that the assistants can do and get ready and cleaned up. Thing, always wear gloves. Resin is pretty nasty stuff. It's not going to give you cancer or anything like that, but too much exposure is going to cause some issues with the skin. I usually get a couple of paper towels here. You open this thing here, you can pull it around this way. You're going to go ahead and lift this thing up, take this thing off, make sure nothing drips out, maybe do a little wipe, and move it over here. Close this because the resin will cure if the light's on it. I'm going to grab one of our wax spatulas here. As you can see, our guide is on here too. You're just going to basically kind of knock that off. It's pretty hard to make anything bad happen. The most important thing is make sure you get all the pieces off, because if any of those pieces fall into our vat in the machine, then we're going to end up having a misprint there. I'm going to take one of my things here and I'm going to go ahead and wipe this all off. Okay, this thing can be cleaned pretty aggressively. Again, the only chemical that could touch this if you wanted to would be alcohol, but again, you don't want to leave any of that around. Essentially want to get the resin off, and as soon as I'm done with this thing, I go ahead, open this, put it back in here, and then lock it down. That way we never have an issue where it's unlocked, because that has been an issue for reprints as well. Alright, now that that's all good, we are done with this. We can go ahead and work here. I always wipe off what I use to take it off, put that away, and that way you don't have to worry about any resin on that. The rest of the struts on this can be taken off kind of like Velcro. Okay. The guy looks like it's printed pretty normally. If there's any issues with the printing or you feel like something's off, please let me know ASAP, and that way we can go ahead and try reprinting it before the patient comes if we are doing it the same day. The next thing is wash and cure. So we're going to go ahead and set it on the high setting here. 3 minutes is a good amount of time there. It will actually just start running. If you look in here, you can just see it just has like a little wash thing. It's kind of meant for smaller parts, but this works pretty well for the guide. This is 97 or 99% isopropyl alcohol, so pretty easy to get. And this is nothing super special about this one. We wait 3 minutes. We usually don't want to wait longer than about 5 minutes because alcohol does dissolve the resin. Theoretically speaking, it could melt the whole thing away, although I've definitely accidentally left it overnight and it hasn't. It will become softer though if you do that. And that's it. We'll give that some time to heal up. In the meantime, we'll come over to the curing thing. So once it comes out of the alcohol and it is after all that extra resin on the top is washed off, there will be one layer on the outside that does need to be cured. The guide resin for us is going to be 250 flashes per side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can probably hear that fan running. So what this does is this does flash it 250 times. So, you'll do one side, then flip it over the other side. I do want this turned off after you're done curing it, just because that fan bulb has a lifetime and will burn out if we leave it on overnight and things like that. All right. For just the purposes of this video, I'm taking it out a little bit early. Go ahead and drip some of this off. If we start doing this a lot more, this isopropyl alcohol probably will start getting expensive, but for the time being, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so I just kind of dried it. Alcohol will dry pretty fast. You can speed it up by just going ahead and using our there. When it's dry, you'll notice that it has a little bit more of a opaque color to it. It used to be clear before I did that. Pop it in here, and then just hit start. You'll hear the flashing. And while it's doing that, I'm cleaning up my mess. Usually about 30 to 40 seconds per side. Flip it over, and same thing. Alright, there's a little post-it note here. So once we're done with the guide, the thing you'll do is you'll click over here. If it's successful, you'll hit successful. go back over here to this thing and then delete it, and that way it signals to all of us that somebody has taken it off. If that screen was still there and somebody else came to check on the guide and they said, oh, it's not there, we would just assume that the guide didn't print properly, and that's just our signal to each other, our communication to let us know that somebody has taken it off. All right, that's it.